You may be too young to know the name Raymond Berry, but he was the receiver of the 1950s. Raymond Berry's a Hall of Famer. He's on the NFL 100 anniversary team. But if that still does not ring a bell, you might know his teammate Johnny Unitas. Still, I feel like not enough people truly understand how great of a receiver Unitas had the privilege of passing to. So, here are 5 facts introducing you to Raymond Berry. So let's begin with fact number 5. Raymond Berry was a long shot to make the Colts in the first place. In 3 years of college, he only caught 33 passes. But, for some reason, the Baltimore Colts drafted him in the 20th round. This is the 3rd latest a Hall of Fame player has ever been drafted, with only John Madden, a 21st pick, and Roosevelt Brown, a 22nd round selection, being chosen later. And in case you thought that still was not enough to overcome, Berry also played through numerous physical limitations. According to his head coach Weeb Eubank, he wore contact lenses, he had to wear a corset because his back bothered him, he had to wear an elevated shoe sometimes because of a hip problem, he did not have blinding speed, people felt he had too many things wrong with him that he wouldn't make it in pro football. But despite all of these obstacles, Raymond Berry trained and worked hard to lead us to fact number 4. He was the hero of the 1958 NFL Championship game against the New York Giants. Down by 3 points late in the 4th quarter, Unitas and Berry had to stage a 2-minute drill before there was even a name for such a thing. The strategy became simple. Pass the ball to Berry. And it worked. He caught 3 consecutive passes for a total of 62 yards to move the Colts into field goal range to tie the game. Then in overtime, Raymond Berry dials it up again on the game-winning drive, nabbing another 2 catches for 33 yards. At this point, everyone in the stadium must know Unitas will pass the ball to number 82. But the New York Giants just simply cannot stop him. Berry finished the game with 12 catches for 178 yards, which if this was a Super Bowl, it would have been the 3rd most yards in a Super Bowl game. But since it was in the championship era, it simply had to be just the most receiving yards for a championship game ever. This match was the first ever NFL playoff game decided in overtime, and has become known as the greatest game ever played, in no small part to the legendary performance Raymond Berry had. The rest of his career was just as impressive because fact number 3 is a quick one. If you admired the reliable hands of Larry Fitzgerald, you'll love Raymond Berry, who had 631 career receptions, only 2 drops, and 1 fumble, which he claims to this day that the ref blew the call on that one. Fact number 2 takes us to the end of his career, where Raymond Berry retired as the Colts' franchise leader in career receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Since then, he remains 4th in career receptions, 4th in yards, and 3rd in touchdowns for the Colts. And he is still the team record holder for yards per game in a season with a whopping 108.2 yards in 1960. That particular year, Berry was head and shoulders above the rest of the league. As second place in yards per game was a guy named Buddy Dial with 81 yards even. To put that into perspective, if Raymond Berry showed up to every game a quarter late, he still would have had more yards than Dial. If this happened today, Berry would be on the cover of Madden, he'd be in commercials, which he was in during his time, but I can only imagine his endorsement dollars today. And he'd be the Offensive Player of the Year. Despite the fact that receivers never win MVP, back in 1960, Berry did receive 1 MVP vote for his effort. But playing football is not the only thing Raymond Berry did. In every era of football, we've seen former players try their hand at coaching. And my last fact is that Raymond Berry was one of the more successful individuals who attempted such a feat. He was almost the 2nd person ever to win a championship as a player and a head coach. Berry was an integral part of the Baltimore Colts' back-to-back championship teams in 58 and 59. But after his playing days were over, Raymond also went into coaching, including a 6-year head coaching stint for the New England Patriots from 1984 to 1989. At this point, only Tom Flores won it all as a player and head coach. But Flores was a backup quarterback for the Chiefs when they beat the Vikings in Super Bowl IV, nowhere near the level of involvement Berry had as a player on a championship team. But that would change the night of Super Bowl XX. Raymond Berry's on one sideline with the underdog New England Patriots, who entered the playoffs as a wild card team. And the Hall of Fame tight end Mike Ditka is leading the Chicago Bears on the opposite end. So no matter the outcome, a legendary player will become a Super Bowl winning head coach tonight. The Bears are heavy favorites and have only lost one game the entire season. And that does not change as the Bears crushed the Patriots 46-10. And instead of Berry, Ditka earned the spot as the second ever player turned coach to win the Super Bowl as both. After that game, Raymond Berry does not win another playoff game as a head coach, much less a Super Bowl. But his coaching career does end with a winning record of 48 wins and 39 losses. Not a bad coaching career by any stretch. But he definitely made his mark with his playing career that can easily be overlooked simply because of how long ago it was. Which brings me to a fun bonus fact. Raymond Berry is still alive. He turned 92 years old in February of 2025, and he is the oldest living player on the 100th anniversary NFL team. I hope this short video has shown that Raymond Berry is one of a kind and should be appreciated by football fans of every age. Thanks for watching.